I think the title on my last video was almost a little misleading because the title of the video was NEET Cognitive Decline, not Isolation Cognitive Decline, which more accurately reflects what I was actually talking about, because there's nothing innate to being a NEET that makes you isolated. In fact, if you're a NEET, you have more time to spend with your friends, with the people that you care about. I know that ever since I stopped having a job, I've had significantly more time to dedicate to my family, which has been a very fulfilling thing for me, particularly given that my mom is literally dying. It's very helpful for me to have the amount of time that I do because, okay, now I have more time that I can spend with her before she's gone. You know, these are the benefits of being in need. There's, like, I don't understand how people have developed all these, like, extra ideas about what being in need is, about all the things that it entails. Like, they have a whole list of things that they ascribe to the state of being in need when, no, man, it's not that complicated. It really is not. It just means not in education, employment, or training. You can do literally whatever you want in that time, and that's part of why it's such a better life to live if you have the resources to live it, of course. If you're able to be a NEET, you have more time to dedicate to the things that make you most happy, your passions, the things that excite you. You have more time to dedicate to your family, your friends, your loved ones. You have more time to eat healthily, to take care of your house and ensure that things are clean, that you have a nice environment to live in. You have more time to take care of grooming yourself and ensuring that you look the best and are in the best of physical shape as well, because so often people don't end up going to the gym because they have an extra shift at work they have to do, because even though, you know, they have two jobs, they don't make enough to actually make it forward in life, and so they have to do the extra time delivering groceries or whatever. You know, the system that we live in demands so much of people. It forces them to be working constantly to even have a hope of not having the floor fall out from under them. And that's no way to live. That's surviving. That's not living. The system, the economic system that we have in America is such that everything that we do is like a series of things that we're indebted to, right? You're indebted to your mortgage, or you're indebted to the car company, you know, for your car payments. You're buying things on a credit card in order to have a, you know, good enough credit to ever hope to get a mortgage one day, right? Student loans, in order to get a well enough paying job to actually afford your own place to live. Forget about getting a mortgage. I'm just talking about renting without having to have multiple roommates all in a tiny space. You're going to have to go to college or trade school, and those things cost money. You get into debt in order to get those qualifications that an employer would be looking for. And so the way our society is structured, and I'm not even going to go into medical bills, right? Medical bills are just insane, and they just decide whatever they're going to charge, you know, because they're, unlike other major developed countries, we don't at the very least have a system to control the price of all these services that have been determined necessary for human life, you know? In every other developed country, including most of the undeveloped countries, there is some system for controlling the price of medicine and medical services. Not in the US. In the US, you will go into major debt or just not receive treatment. And so there are all of these ways in which the system is rigged against people here. And it's bad, you know, even for people who live in countries with more workers' rights, in countries where working conditions are a little bit better than ours, where people get paid a little bit more. The experience of working for someone else that is extracting Most of the money from the work that you do, like anything that you produce at the behest of someone else, will inevitably result in them taking most of the profit from whatever that thing that you produced was. And so you are not even left with the majority of the value of what you're producing for the company. And so the experience of working sucks, even for people who don't have to, worry about paying their medical bills, that don't have to worry about paying for their tuition and things like that. The things that people get to have in other countries, vacation time, all this stuff. Even people who have that stuff are still having to deal with the fact that at the end of the day, their boss is a son of a bitch. And at the end of the day, they're selling their time, their lifespan, to somebody else, only to not even get the full amount that their work is worth. And so we live in this oppressive economic system, and somehow we are supposed to be thankful for what? The crumbs that the elite allow us to have? It just seems to me absurd that people would actually be in favor of this, and moreover that people would be willing to waste the majority of their life doing a job that they hate to generate money for someone else, when they could be spending that time freely, when they could be dedicating that time to things that genuinely improve their life, that genuinely improve their emotional state, their lifespan, their relationship with those around them. And so being a NEET is a brilliant opportunity to live a better life and to actually do work on things that matter to you. It's the total freedom to do what you want to do and what really matters to you. And that potential exists as a NEET. The potential to waste your time also exists, and to waste your life and to not really take advantage of it the way you probably should. And I'm not going to judge the people who do that, because everybody has their own approach in this world. But what I mean to say by bringing up the two sides of NEETdom is to say that there are many different ways one can live when they are not in education, employment, or training. There are many different ways that a person can live. And there are many things that potentially entails. You can't paint with such a broad brush when talking about this topic, because what you're ultimately doing is ascribing all these things to it that aren't necessarily there. It's like you're reading so many different things into it, which I ultimately think is very mistaken.